at Ohrid, and I was present at Ohrid, it was agreed that all elements of that agreement were immediately implementable. That means for Kosovo, the Association of Serb Majority Municipalities, and for Serbia, to not block the path for Kosovo in any Euro-Atlantic and international organization. So unfortunately, both sides have failed to honor that commitment. And but I do believe that once we get this agreement back on track, and it incorporates a lot of the Brussels agreements, that the region will be in a better place, that the two countries will have a normal, predictable, and peaceful relationship with each other. Now, on the Council of Europe, as you know, the United States does not have a vote, but I do know that there is concern among certain members that the association and some of the other requests that have been made and have been made repeatedly over the last 2 years with regard to the association and some other issues related to the Serb minority have not been met. And that is what's driving some of the concern that Kosovo may not have the votes in the Council of Europe. Now, it's the American position that Kosovo should be a full member of the European Union, of NATO, and the United Nations. Will continue to work for that. But in the meantime, on the European path, I think it's important for Kosovo to listen to its European partners and work with their European partners as we strengthen Kosovo's candidacy for all Euro-Atlantic structures. I think they're very related. I mean, one is that the Council of Europe is about the treatment of minorities, and Kosovo has made clear commitments about the treatment of minorities, and that includes the association. Now, that is a long-standing commitment, and it is written into the Ahtisaari plan. It is written into the Brussels Agreement and Ohrid. And so we struggle to figure out why Kosovo doesn't meet its legal obligation and hasn't signaled in many ways that it is committed to doing it. And the concern is that post-accession will only bring greater delay. And that is the belief among some. Now, with regard to the disagreement with certain Western diplomats, all of the diplomats that he has met with represent fully the policy of the national governments. So Kurti is going to hear the same message from all levels of American, Italian, French, German governments. So it's not really, we are only the messengers of a national policy. So I would encourage Kosovo to work closely with its European and American partners to find a way to move forward on an existing legal obligation that will have to be done anyway. So the sooner we do it together, the more effective we can be in making a case for Kosovo's continued integration and additional recognitions for Kosovo. Mr. Lajcak has been here for the last 2 days. The one thing that he is going to take away from his meetings in Washington is that the United States continues to strongly and fully support the EU facilitated dialogue. We will be his partner. We will continue to support the path that he has expertly navigated for the two countries. And so that is the first important message that he will take back. The second is we're going to talk about strategies on how to move the implementation of Ohrid forward so that the region does benefit from this historic agreement. So also in that is we're going to have a discussion about the Kosovo dinar decision and how do we continue to move toward getting a transparent electronic private sector process to allow people who are entitled to benefits from Serbia to receive them in Kosovo. So those would be the two main topics of discussion. Additionally, well, and you're asking me where I would have hoped that we would have made more progress. I do think that on the question of Serbia Kosovo, that the normalization agreement should not have been that hard to implement. On one hand, what was on the table for Kosovo was additional recognitions, partnership for peace, EU candidacy, strategic bilateral dialogue with the United States, and a donors conference. What was on the table for Serbia was additionally a donors conference, quicker resolution to the Chapter 35 question, which would allow Serbia to close that chapter, and additional investment for both countries. And in return, the two countries had to recognize and that they would have to work together to make the life of people who are essentially dual citizens in Kosovo much better. Now, that one I thought would have been easier. The important thing is that the dialogue must continue. The dialogue is a very important focus tool in bringing resolution to one of the most difficult challenges in the Western Balkans. And I think Mr. Lajcak has done a tremendous job. He's had a tremendous level of strategic vision, but he's also been very active in the details. And without the dialogue, we would have neither a European focus on a single point of contact for this issue, but we also wouldn't have a crisis management mechanism, which I think the dialogue unfortunately had to do a lot of that. With regard to the candidates, I don't know how the candidacy will go, but all I can say is we expect, regardless of who the next special representative will be, that we expect that that person will get full American support for their work. With regard to individual candidates, I think it's too early to talk about them because we have not been officially informed who is a candidate.